Now we have heard professors looking at education. Now is the time for those people who are in fact the reason to be here. The students. I would like to invite 4 students, actually we have 3, but I would like to invite 3 students here to give their presentation. The 4 students are from the University College Maastricht, and they are Arjan Vlaskamp, you see him here. He is almost graduated from University College, from Social Sciences, and he had his focus on matching, marketing and strategy. Next to him is Martin Thiele. He is 3rd year Social Sciences, and his focus is on international development studies. And sitting there on the 4th row, maybe you can stand up, René. That is René Peters. He is also 3rd year Social Sciences, Economics and Development Studies. And unfortunately, Lian Verhees, who has also joined you by preparing this presentation, she is ill, she is not able to come. Gentlemen, may I invite you to give your presentation? Thank you.
There we go. Hello, everybody. Oh, we as a think tank, it's nice to, your speakers before talked already about the use of technology, and Professor Levine thought we need more entrepreneurs, more thinkers. And as you see, we are representing the University College think tank, and the name itself says, well, we were thinking. And we're talking today about the practice-oriented approach of PBL, so PBL and the next level of PBL, we think. We're going to talk about the outline. First of all, we explain what is think tank. I think most of you don't know what think tank, and we explain it short. And then we link think tank to problem-based learning. What is problem-based learning? You know it. And what's think tank? What are together? And what's new in think tank? And thereafter, Martin will take over and explain what are the benefits and drawbacks of this new practical approach of problem-based learning. First of all, a short explanation. What is think tank? Think tank is a 3000 level project, advanced project, offered by University College Maastricht. What does it mean, a 3000 level project? As you see on the pyramid, there are 3 major levels at University College, difficulty levels. You start with basic introductory courses, you move on to a more advanced course, intermediate courses, and the top level are the 3000 level courses, so at the end of your curriculum. So in the more or less the last year of your bachelor, when you're more or less done, the last project before you start writing the thesis. What does it mean, a project? Well, you know the courses. Projects are always taking place at the end of each semester, so in June or January, so after all courses are done, and this project takes part loose from its courses, so no parallel courses, just focus on this project. And projects are applying the science, applying the knowledge, applying the skills you've learned before, like writing an academic paper, preparing a conference, preparing academic debate. Well, the think tank is a bit different. Think tank is it has a multidisciplinary focus, so it invites students from all disciplines at University College Maastricht, which has a broad focus, and is open for everybody, so it's a voluntary participation. You don't have to take it, but if you're interested, you can take it. We're think tank about? Well, we took a quote from the course manual. The course manual explains think tank in the following words: students will be assigned to writing and presenting a policy recommendation that is partially based on the knowledge and expertise they have developed as a result of the education program at University College Maastricht. Well, you see the basic of every course, you're supposed as a student to write a paper and present what you've learned. And again, you see at the last part of this sentence, you should use the knowledge and expertise you've learned before. But the striking point is presenting a policy recommendations, so this is new. So the focus, of course, applying the knowledge, applying the science, the skills you've learned. But what is a policy recommendation? Well, policy recommendations means there's external client coming to University College from outside academic world. So we're going outside the walls of the university, and companies or organizations, NGOs, come to University College Maastricht and ask us, well, can you help us? We have a certain problem. Help us, please. And well, they ask us to give recommendations for certain problems. Want to link this to problem-based learning? Well, you all know the 7 steps of problem-based learning, just remind them. First of all, you have a task, a written task in a course manual, some words, 300, 400 words. The group itself starts to clarify what is the problem of problem-based learning, what's the problem that takes you to understand it, start brainstorming, how can we solve it, clustering, making learning objectives, start self-study, new books, use new technology, come back to the group and discuss, and thereafter the pre-discussion again. So more or less align. Think tank is a bit different. Well, as you see already, the first point is not a task, it's meet the client. So as I already said, we're going outside, we go to the client. In our case, we are a group of the Parkstad, we work for the Parkstad Limburg, so a region is south of the Netherlands. And they ask us, help us, we have a problem with presenting ourselves to the people here. And we went there and they explained the problem to us. So we don't have a written task, the task speaks to us. So it's completely different as a student. And when you're there, you can already talk to people. So it's more a real life case. And then we come to the level of problem-based learning, clarify it, brainstorm solutions, make problem statements, clustering, make it more visual. You start with the client. The client gives input to the think tank. The think tank, I make a bubble because, well, it's a circular project. We have once we give input, and then the think tank starts working. We start thinking. We're trying to apply the science, clarify it, cluster it, brainstorm, start making own research, set our own research objectives, set research targets, and so on. And then we all have to be in contact with clients from external clients. And then it's like, well, it's good, but move on. So we go away from the book, the course manuals, but start ourselves. We're completely individualized, and everything depends on ourselves and our progress. So to visualize it, we took some pictures. Well, the first step I said was meet the client. You see in the right top, meet the client indeed. As I said, we were to Parkstad Limburg, and this is the first picture when we meet the client, we walk inside the office of the client in Heerlen. The client gave a short presentation, what are we supposed to do? And in this group, with a contact person, the client set the guidelines. So again, the task explains itself, and time to clarify. Thereafter, the think tank works start. The group work, self-organized research. The role of the tutor is a bit less. The tutor is more a guide and helps to channel the thoughts, but not as present as normal group discussions we used to have at Maastricht University. The group is free to define their own problems, is free to brainstorm for solutions, is free to invite individual research objectives and roles, so own role division. No one's supposed, well, today you have to be the discussion, you have to be the secretary. No, it's up to the group. They have to do it themselves. And there's more pressure because you're 4 weeks, but each day the group comes together again. Each day the group gets new input from self-study. So maybe every morning at 10 you meet, then a group goes apart, and at 6 they meet again the next day. So there's more self-organization, more internal group work, and always be in contact with the client. And after this period of 4 weeks, extremely organized, focused on self-research, we go back to the client. We provide the recommendations, the policy recommendations he asked us for, and we give a short presentation, and we present the findings and hand over a final report. So we have to write a report of about 5,000 words and present it, and then the floor is open for discussion. The client can ask us the questions, is he satisfied, is he not satisfied? Again, be in direct contact with the client, be in contact with the task, a speaking task, and we provide food for thought, we provide food for thinking. So we are, more as the name says, we are the think tank, we provide food for thinking, people can move on. We're not finalizing our product, because academia is always going on. We don't say, well, this is the perfect solution, but provide recommendations. And this is a chance to move on because, well, there's feedback and chance for further usage. Well, the feedback, of course, it's a course at university. There's always grading involved, grading by a tutor, but also this includes the feedback by the client. But another feedback is, what very important for us, there's implementation by the client in future policy making. So if we are in a group and we have a post-discussion, we find solutions for the learning objectives, we have the solutions, what happens, what next. But in this case, because it's quite practical, you see, well, I've achieved something. something happens. In our case, the Parkstad, our client, says, well, we definitely will use this in our future policy recommendations. We're eager to see what happens in the next couple of months. But further, it can also be another client, because we're very lucky another client read it, because, as I said, outside the walls, we had the Dutch television program, VPRO Tegenlicht, so far away from Maastricht even, who contacted us and said, well, you have written nice reports. Tell us more about it. So we see that there's a more tipping point that goes on. And this is very nice for students, because students are always, well, I learned something, what happens, what I've learned, I don't see the results. And we have a lot of results we can show. For example, this is a screenshot of the website of Parkstad Limburg. You see in the middle, think tank position in the region. So we see, well, they're proud, we have done something. You see, it's good. Again, on the Dutch television website, again, you see our pictures, picture of us, very nice picture. And again, you see, well, we have done so, we have achieved something. This is good for us, good for students, and we don't do it, well, there's a reason why we do this, and this is, of course, a good motivator for us. But a lot of other motives, and other benefits and drawbacks, and Martin will explain what we think are the benefits and drawbacks of think tank.
Well, good morning, first of all. I will talk now about the drawbacks and the benefits mainly we saw in this think tank project as perceived by us, as it is a student view we're presenting. So, first of all, I would like to touch upon the benefits we distinguish between, first of all, the hands-on approach, and we delineated especially these 3 points we chose there because this is what actually is next to what is actually achieved through PBL. So what is extra work for, or could be a model to enlarge the PBL system. So first of all, coming back that this project is a 3000 level advanced course, it is necessary to say that first of all in the last part of a bachelor's program for students, so they really can apply the knowledge they gained during this 2 years beforehand, and not only the application of the academic knowledge will benefit well to their academic career, but also it's the real life cases they face and also the real life clients. So when we first got to the client, we really saw that we could have an impact, that we were actually needed. So our help was needed, and it spurs a different kind of motivation every time you are really faced with this with a problem. So this hands-on approach had a kind of importance and was, as Ariane said already, it was used afterwards. So we really felt this kind of responsibility that we had to take on. So not only we were motivated, but also as it was a project, we were really working in a team, and not only in a team, but also we were working ourselves. So we really had to combine both skills, not only well, the self-study you normally face in PBL sessions, but really working as a group, and that is, I think, a critical part of higher education. So as you see, the real clients, as Ariane talked about it, are Parkstad Limburg and VPRO afterwards. Coming to the next topic, we thought the multidisciplinary character of the think tank project is still different from normal PBL sessions, because what you really face here is in normal PBL courses you wouldn't have all the range of students attending the course. So in economics courses you would have economic people. But other than that, there's really little prerequisites to be fulfilled to participate in a think tank. And even though there are 4 themes, you can, with your background knowledge in, for instance, economics, you can participate in a science project, because your perspectives on things really changes the whole base of knowledge you can well, exploit. And so this base of knowledge we have then really spurs this exchange of knowledge. And for instance, if we were at the problem analysis of or the presentation of the problem analysis of our client in Parkstad, then we realized in the first week when we made our problem analysis that the input we gave to the problem at hand was very different. We had a really different approach or perspective on things, and we first of all came up with a different problem. So this is still different from the problem we were presented with in the first week. So this can really have an impact just to have a multidisciplinary character of the course. And the third point is freedom, and I think that is also one that is very important for higher education, and was one of the things I really appreciated in this project, namely that we had the freedom, well, first of all, to make our own shifts, work out timetables, when do we meet, where do we meet, who has to do what, so really come up with an own structure of the project and really organize ourselves. And you're not faced with it in normal PBL sessions. Normally you just get well, a clear outline of what you have to do. You're even presented with the literature normally. And this is very different from it. So you, first of all, create a kind of group feeling. You also experience group pressure, but that's part of it. And what I believe and we experience as a think tank, it's not only that you take on responsibility, but you actually become willing to take on this responsibility. And this should be really part of higher education and is sometimes missing still from PBL. So this is an essential part of a positive aspect of think tank. Then, as I already pointed out, we have to distribute the tasks ourselves and really, well, exploit the strength of each individual in the group. And this is oftentimes neglected in PBL sessions. Everyone has to have to study himself or herself and find out what is it I can get from the literature I got. But what's important here is also the student-to-student teaching, that we really experience that this knowledge base can create synergies, and that we really come up with new problems. In each week we get our problem definition kind of change, and in the end we were really faced with an outcome that was still interesting to most of us. What is also essential to it is that our tutor is, as Ariane said, or just a guide, and he channels our thoughts. So we meet maybe once or twice a week, but then he's just experiencing what results we're getting out of this, and that we experience the synergies, and then he might channel the thoughts if we got off track. But normally that shouldn't be the case, because actually the environment itself creates this this feeling of good results. And last but not least, we got an own office, and this is also a point that might be of interest, because it really gives us space to be creative. We can really have our own office, can walk in there day and night. We really moved the tables so that we had an optimum of space use, so that we sat together in a group. We're creative with mind mapping on the chalkboard, and so this is also one advantage of the think tank as a model for PBL. So now coming to the drawbacks, if you will. There might be also assumptions that this group feeling can also end up in social pressure if you really depend on your peers to do the work. So you really have to distribute the work, and also to deal with all the inner group conflicts. But that is again one aspect I actually appreciated, and others did too. That you also become yourself responsible for other people, to first of all maybe to motivate them, but also to just guide them in their thoughts, and you can just get the feedback from them. So that is also that might create social pressure. But then there's also a problem maybe of free riding, so that you think, okay, we as a group we can achieve something, but I'm not necessarily do have to do most of the things. but other than that, as I talked about inner group conflicts already, there might be some authority issues. So depending on who's going to take the leadership role, for instance, is well, one essential part. But we, for instance, chose to well, have two leaders, or just that everyone has the same say, but at least that we have someone guiding us in the whole process. Well, what also might turn out to be a disadvantage would be that the skills you normally could practice in PBL, well, you might not practice them in think tank because your peers also think that, well, they try to get the best out of you, and that's normally they ask for your strength and not for practicing your weaknesses in general. So, as Arjan also has said before, we only have 4 weeks for this project, so that it might also create some time pressure. But yeah, as I said, this project itself, because it is just one track for 4 weeks, it might also give, well, it would be probably more concentration based. So instead of having 3 courses at a normal period, then we just have this one course. So as I said, it's a student's view. That's why the drawbacks could be still there. It depends on, well, which view you take on. But coming to the conclusion in the end, we would sum up that the positive aspects of it, of course, overweigh, as you can see in this nice model. So, as I said, if you really want to, if we're talking about think tank as a model for PBL or how to improve upon problem-based learning, then you can really see this. It's just 1 or 2 aspects that could make a major change in the normal PBL session. Even if it's just the part of responsibility, so that you give the students something to work with to figure out the problems themselves in a group. Give them just guidance and not well described problem statements already. And if you well, and this application of knowledge and this wide range of expertise that is there in think tank is also one aspect that is still lacking from some PBL courses. And then, of course, the real-life cases spur this motivation, as I already told, and we also had this freedom in organizing ourselves, which was very helpful, I think, for just making us more skilled, well, giving us the skills we really need to acquire knowledge ourselves, but also to, well, to become world leaders. Well, and then looking at the negative things, it's up to you whether or not you think free writing is well, overweighs some of the positive aspects, or the time and social pressure well, might outweigh something. But as we said, we think tank is a valuable project that should be incorporated in the normal problem-based learning courses, and the positive aspects we pointed out. We hope that these will also in you spur a little bit of well, enthusiasm that PBL still can still be changed. So thank you.